This is part two of a two-part series. In part one, I flew south to a small rural airport. Today, I'm returning, but this time with my wife. We're going to go to Madison, Georgia, about 50 miles due east of Atlanta. Heading there, winds are in our favor, and with 127 knot ground speed, we're doing just over 145 miles per hour. As we approach the airport, winds are calm, and there's no reported traffic, so I elect to do a straight in to runway 14. This is our grandson, Matthew. He lives and works in Madison. He also works at the nearby Ritz-Carlton on Lake Oconee. It's going to be a full day for us here, and one of the things we're going to do is take Matt for a ride. Yeah, he fits in the plane pretty good, and now with both of us in there, it's time to go. With a wave to my wife, who stays behind, we're off to the races. I have Matt read out the before takeoff checklist, and after the run-up, we taxi to runway 32. As soon as we're clear of the pattern, I give the plane to Matt. It's all up to him until we turn to land. When you take someone up, and especially over their home turf, it's fun to have them fly over landmarks they know. Things do look different from the air, and you can discover things that you can't see from the ground. We flew over Lake Oconee and down to the Ritz-Carlton. Matt texted his colleagues to come outside and watch us fly overhead. Meanwhile, back at the airport, my wife Gail was tracking us on FlightAware. After about an hour, we came back and greased it in. Taxiing back, everybody was all smiles. It must be that RV grin. So here's our flight path. Down over the lake, circle around a little bit, fly down to the dam, and then straight back to the airport, where we entered a right downwind for runway 32. Now it's time to go and enjoy the town. We stop at a cafe and have a brunch together. Overhead is this towering dome. It belongs to City Hall, shown here. All along the downtown are these older and repurposed buildings like these, preserved and with character. Maybe you're an attorney or a CPA with an office in a building like this. And if you're into antiques, you'll find several stores loaded like this. In the center of town, they have a large park. Look at that stage. And this cool fountain is refreshing on a hot day. A nice gazebo could be a perfect place for that southern wedding that you've planned. Matt lives here in an apartment right over the restaurant where he works. Could there be a better commute? We drive through the historic district and look at the old homes. There's over 100 antebellum homes in this small town. Now back at the airport, there's more to see. Someone dropped in this Comanche 250. I love the lines of the Comanche. This one has tip tanks which extend the range, but for me kind of warp the look of the plane. I prefer the standard wingtips. I'm sketchy on the details, but I think this might be a J5 Cruiser. It's wider than a Cub, and it can seat two small kids in the back. Well, anyway, it is a vintage Piper. I found a second Globe Swift here. This one belonged to the current owner's father years ago. It was sold, and after the father passed away, the son wanted to buy the plane back into the family. He located it, and he was successful in getting it back. Swifts are often painted in military colors, like this one. And speaking of military colors, we came upon this Stearman. The owner was doing some maintenance, but allowed us full access to the plane. If you're lucky when you go to a small airport, you can visit with the locals, sitting and having some plane talk. But you know what? Eventually, it's time to go. Here's Gail waving goodbye. Have you got a small town airport near you? Might be worth a visit. Like I found out, you never know what you're going to find there. My next video is going to feature a ride with yet another grandson, keeping it in the family. Be sure to watch, and we'll look for you then. Fly safe.